ladies and gentlemen, Governor Patrick Henry.
Thank you, friends, countrymen, gentlemen and ladies, and distinguished veterans. In May of 1776, in this city, the birthplace of American liberty, 112 delegates gathered in convention at the end of the main street in the Capitol, and there unanimously declared that these united colonies are, and of right ought to be, free and independent states. But independence was not achieved, nor were our liberties secured with that mere declaration. Independence was actually won on the battlefields and upon the high seas. And history informs us that this will ever be the case if we intend to preserve those precious freedoms. For in that building, we began a new concept with regard to a new nation conceived in liberty and with the honest intention of justice under law for all men. We knew that oppressed societies around this globe would view us as a beacon of hope, but we also knew that there would be some societies in this world which would be unable to abide this symbol of freedom. And when peaceful, reasonable, and diplomatic efforts fail, inevitably it will fall to that most extraordinary segment of our society, the citizen soldier, such as those gathered here upon this field, those who have the courage and the understanding and the love of liberty to be willing to face the fire on freedom's front lines. As Governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia and as a common citizen, on behalf of a grateful Virginia, gentlemen and ladies, we honor you, we salute you, and we love you. I now have the very happy duty to introduce the Commander-in-Chief of the Continental Line. Please welcome His Excellency, General George Washington.
Director of all things, has carried us through many
diverse and bloody seas, in a series of conflicts. Our veterans all know that what honors we may have achieved, what victories we have had, the thanks for these belong not to ourselves, but rather to the generous interposition of an overruling providence. The disadvantageous circumstances by which these wars have been fought must never be forgotten. The perseverance of our soldiers, of these armies of our United States of America, in their many disappointments, struggles, has been nothing short of a standing miracle. The veterans of our armies of these United States of America have endured all manner of hardship. They have suffered hunger, nakedness, cold. They have suffered and they have bled, but they have done so without murmur. But the value by which we all esteem our liberty shall only be enhanced by the difficulties of our having gained it. And liberty is a blessing which, once gained, must always be secured with energy, courage, and our bold endeavors. There are those who look upon a standing army as a threat to a free society. But I say this, that as long as our armies remain subservient to civil authority, they cannot be a threat to our livelihood or our liberties. But when one remembers that that liberty was only gained by the actions of our soldiers, then one must suppose that it may only be kept by that same action. No, a standing army is not a threat to a free society. It is a requirement that that free society might be defended. There is no one who prays as much for peace as those of us who have seen war. But the greatest way that a nation might preserve peace is to always show its enemies that it is always ready for war. And our army differs from every other army in the world, for it is made up of citizen soldiers. Men who have not put behind them the citizen when they have taken upon them the soldier. Men who fight for the preservation of those greatest of liberties, of which all the happiness and good and evil of life depend. Today, we remember those who have served our nation. But let us not forget those who are in harm's way at present, who are in present serving their nation. Like all of us, those men, they long that they might return to their homes, their shops, their plantations, and their farms, but that they cannot do until this nation once again rests in the bosom of peace and liberty. Just as these people have done before, I trust that our present soldiers and their endeavors will draw that day ever closer, and that with the blessings of heaven, we shall soon see those men and women returned home. Gentlemen, ladies, God save you all. And God save the United States of America!
Huzzah! Huzzah!
Ladies and gentlemen.